To introduce a scientist who has spent years untangling the threads of cell division, we have two film and television stars who clearly love technology and each other. She's a Golden Globe-nominated actress. He's an actor and tech entrepreneur who has invested in companies such as Airbnb, Spotify, Uber, and Houzz. Please welcome Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton and I are thrilled to be a part of this show. But the greatest show on earth is what happens within us. And by us, I mean women. When I was pregnant, I had this app that told me every day how big my daughter was. The size of a guava, size of an avocado, and eventually she got too enormous to be compared to a fruit. But, thanks guys. But the app also told me what was growing and when. The hands, the eyes, the brain. Then you realize every moment along the way requires the perfect splitting of DNA and cells.
I can confirm that Mila was totally obsessed with the fruit app. And actually, someone here tonight probably invented the UI for that, so thank you. Those were fun nights. As our children grow up, it is truly amazing to see what can be shaped by the microscopic process of cell division. What we can see is how delicate and how difficult that process is.
We all grow up, and we listen to the teacher. You either hear something or you read something and you don't understand it. Your first reaction from school is, oh, well, I'm stupid. After many decades of feeling that, I realized that most of the time they don't understand it themselves. Realizing that something doesn't make sense, that is the key thing. And that something that's out there for everybody to see, but you're the first person who doesn't accept that the conventional explanations don't work. The way you pass things on from generation to generation, whether a yeast cell, an oak tree, or a human cell, is continuity of cells dividing and producing two new cells. It was a complete mystery, though it had been described for 100 years, how the DNAs, these sister DNAs, are disjoined from each other. How do you ensure that one goes to the left, one goes to the right, and the cell divides down the middle? There is 2 meters of DNA in every one of our cells. How on earth does the cell know which of that tangled mass of DNA needs to be held together? It requires that creative step to imagine something that, if it did exist, you could now explain things that can't otherwise be explained. I got back from a very long climbing trip, having spent days dealing with ropes and carabiners and clips. And I had probably the most important idea in my entire scientific career. You want to assemble this DNA into one structure and this one into a separate one. Even though you're going to separate them apart, you must still hold on to them in certain places. And what we realized is that they're all held together by the cohesin rings. And then it's broken open, and this goes one way, this goes the other way, and the 2 DNAs go to opposite side of the cell. You think, gosh, so that's how it works. It is incredibly difficult to get at the truth. You can't explain the world in terms of what we already know. You're going to have to imagine something new.
We're revealing the mechanism that controls the separation of chromosomes in cell division and prevents genetic diseases such as cancer. No big deal, guys.
Our next Breakthrough Prize award goes to Kim Naismith.
When he's not exploring chromosomes or climbing mountains, Kim Naismith enjoys pursuing his passion for winemaking.